You right there. You have all this potential bottled up, and you need to figure out how to open the heck up and do it full out. It's right there. You glowing. Use it.
Hi everyone, it's Edrian Pangilinan, and welcome back to Soul Supremacy, where we talk about all things unapologetic, all things passion, and in pursuit of. And I am gonna be honest, woke up just now. This kind lady here was so nice, and I was like, I'm so sorry, but hey,
It
it
happens.
happens, okay? Especially when you're on Clubhouse, popping on Clubhouse the night
Right,
before.
right, right.
Oh, I mean, yeah, no, yeah, because at some point I know people are gonna be like, "You look sleepy." I'm like, "Well, yeah." So I'm gonna put it out there.
Clubhouse.
Yes. Okay. So for our guest today, we have the amazing, the bubbly Jessica Sarawasi, who is known for. Let me pull up my bio. Okay, so she is an actress and producer known for A Novel Ability in 2020, Whatever It Takes in 2019, and ASS A Scary Sleepover from 2018, directed from ours truly, Cassandra Pimentel, whom you've seen in the past episode. So, whoop whoop. How you doing?
I'm good. You know, just trucking along from that clubhouse. Okay.
I know.
It was it's an
Oh,
addicting
go ahead.
app.
It is,
It's an
yeah.
addicting app. I'm with you. I don't blame you. But yeah,
Yeah.
I'm doing fine. How are you?
Okay, co-host. I'm doing good actually. Um I have you today. I actually will be filming several interviews today,
Yay.
which is good because I am slowly starting to realize that it's like it really takes up a lot of time.
Hmm.
And this is also great work. This is like great work that I get to do, like work that I'm super passionate about and thankful that I get to do. And when we were talking earlier, I think I had just mentioned that I think this podcast was really birthed out of like necessity to
Yeah.
connect with people, myself to connect with people, and I think too, given how much the pandemic has really like caused us to go within, I
Hmm.
also really wanted to provide the space for people to be heard and seen. So
Agreed.
I can go off on a tangent. Y'all already know that. So we're gonna get into the questions. Wow, into the questions. Are you ready?
Yes. Always
Okay,
ready.
nice. Okay, so my first question for you is: what are 5 facts about you that people wouldn't normally know or know about you from seeing you for the first time?
Uh, you know what? It's funny because I hear these questions, but it still it gets so tough every time. You can't. It's like, dang, I got it, but I don't got it.
It hits
I would.
different. It hits
It.
different, right? When you're in the hot seat.
You said it. It hits different. I would say maybe one would be I'm not full Filipino. I'm half Thai, unless you didn't know that, I guess.
I had a feeling because your last name, I was like, that sounds Thai.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everyone's all like, "Wait, what are you? What is it?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm half Thai, so I'm half Filipino, half Thai."
Wow.
Um, what is another thing? Um, I'm the second child of four.
Mm. Oh, me too.
Um, oh really? Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. That makes sense. I see. The second children, you already know. Um, number three, I love architecture. Like
Mm.
I'm just obsessed with anything. I'll look at like door frames and be like, wow, I love that wood or I love that framing, that color, that whatever it is. Number four, um, I am like I have OCD with like organizing. Like I can't do anything unless things are organized. And then number five, I don't know. My favorite number is three.
Okay.
All
Okay.
random.
Oh no, it. Yeah, I mean, all of those questions are meant to be random, and I think it's really cool because like a lot of these questions are just meant to kind of like activate the brain for the interview,
I love it.
and it's funny because I've kind of seen these questions be asked towards the end, in which
Mhm.
in my opinion, it's like it almost, I mean, yeah, I mean, it almost feels like they should be asked in the beginning, because it's
Right.
cool to like kind of activate the brain, and to kind of segue into the
Well,
main interview.
the
Okay,
brain is
so my next,
activated.
yes, and well, I mean, we just started, so there's a whole lot more to go. Okay, so my next question for you is morning person or evening person?
Morning person. I'm always up like 4 in the morning.
Really?
I don't know why. Like my body's just up and I'm like, I have to like do stuff. I guess I have to like write. I try to clean. Just I don't know, get the start of the day.
Okay.
Yeah, morning person.
What time do you sleep then?
I try to sleep at like before 10. I try. But there's some
Mm.
nights where you're on Clubhouse.
Oh no, you're good. No, you're good. No, it's true. It's okay. I deserve that, everyone.
No, you're funny because I was on Clubhouse too, so I don't blame you. But yeah, there's some nights where you're on Clubhouse for real, and you're just up to like 12. Last night I was up to like 2 in the morning.
And then did you still wake up at 4?
No, I woke up like maybe like 8:39.
Yeah. See, that sounds about right.
Exactly, that sounds right. Yeah, that's good. See, yeah, so morning person.
Coffee or tea person?
Coffee.
Coffee. What?
Oh,
Yeah. Oh, go ahead. Go.
I was like coffee, but like this month is my goal to stay away from coffee and go to tea. So yes, but coffee for sure.
Oh yeah, I feel like my coffee tends to be a little too intense sometimes. Or I'm like,
oh,
yeah,
it got you like
that.
Yeah, like
yes, I'm like, oh gosh, my brain. So yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Dream role, acting.
Dream role.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shoot. Okay, I don't know about a dream role because I don't have a specific one. I think my dream role would be to create a role for me because so often I see I don't know, I guess we're gonna dive into all the everything, but
Yes.
I know I go on auditions and I appreciate every audition and I love it. I just feel like my look sometimes may not be wanted or not be as universal because I can go for Asian roles, but I don't look that the typical, like, oh, she's Asian for sure.
Oh
like,
yeah, more ambiguous, yeah.
yeah. So a lot of the roles I get are just straight Asian roles. And so it gets it I don't know. I feel like it doesn't just call for me. It's just not me because it's not set in my look and the whole aesthetics of a character and but no, yeah, I guess my dream role would be creating a role for me and people that look like me because being part Filipinos are the most, I feel like, ambiguous Asians ever. Like they can be called for anything. You could be called for as Latina or Latino, or like Hawaiian or like you can be mixed with anything. And so I think that's the thing I would love to have a role that just is a role.
Yeah. What would that character do? Give us a little bit of a biopic.
Oh, that character. I think that character would probably live obviously the what I'm probably going through is that first gen, lifestyle. Like it doesn't have to be a specific culture, but it can have that, all those cultures combined. But it's just a character that's going through that first gen kind of transition of being first gen, probably Asian American, and then having that whole being American also, and understanding the combinations of both. And sometimes they collide, being Asian American and being American, and those values sometimes don't align. So there's that internal turn of like, which one is ethically correct? Which one is me morally,
Mm.
If I go this way, more American, does my Asian values degrade me? Like, things like that. Like,
Oh.
that's really tough. So, I mean, I think I go through that. I went through that my whole life. So,
Mm.
I mean, a character that goes through that, I think that would be wow. Let's create something.
Oh.
Let's create.
Okay, so Jessica, what what so tell us a little bit more about the dream character that you have. Biopic. Describe. Go.
So, the character would obviously be an ambiguous one, but the character would be going through the typical, I believe, what we all kind of go through as first gen Asian Americans that we go through,
Mhm.
and balancing out the Asian American traditional values versus the American values that we grow up to have around our home. Um, and yeah, kind of fighting it internally of which one is ethically correct, morally aligned with you internally, while trying to grow up and figure out who you are in this world. um yeah, I think that's the toughest, is just fighting against or fighting with either one of influences, and trying to just find you.
Are you I know you're connected with Mix because you did ASS, or at least with
Yeah.
TFC. I feel like this is I feel like you should pitch this because we need more stories like that are more that really tell like what actually goes through in like a life of an American over here, Filipino American.
Yeah.
And what you just said is so like, yeah, I see that. I see that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, shoot, let's partner up and create something.
Oh, okay.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Do it. Also, wait, to add to that, because
Yes.
let me add to that. Because not only being Filipino American, I am also Thai
Oh,
American.
yes. I was gonna say too.
So
Yeah.
that adds a whole nother level of pressure on, because one, I grew up with my Filipino grandparents. Um,
Mm.
because I mean, I guess it's traditional, to have grandparents
Oh,
live with you on the Filipino side.
oh yeah.
Um, yeah, my Thai grandma and my grandpa lived on the East Coast, so I didn't really get to see them. I
Mm.
didn't grow up with my Thai side as much. So it's another whole balance of like, am I Thai enough? Am I not? But am I not Filipino enough too? Because it's a whole, like, it's a balance to mix it. It's an internal fight that you have with yourself, trying to
Mm.
find yourself as a young Asian American, first gen in this world. So yeah, I agree with
Yeah.
you. It could be something. I think it relates to a lot of people. I think
Yeah.
we just don't understand our traumas, our struggles,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
of the healing of it all.
Yes, unlayering the onion and
Yeah.
going back to Clubhouse. So Clubhouse, if you're watching this, let's partner up.
No, okay,
um
let's do it. Let's do it.
what was I gonna say? Like a lot of I'm sure you've been in these rooms or maybe not, but there has been a lot of rooms where everyone is just like sharing their experiences. And
Oh yeah.
whereas for me, like this year, or at least by the time this episode comes out, I think it'll definitely be hitting the 2 year mark, a 2 year, 20-year mark of like me immigrating here, and
Oh
super long
wow.
story short, I think for the longest time I kind of had I was dealing with my own resentments, especially when I feel like the gap, the what's the word I'm looking for? The barrier, there you go. The barrier with reaching out and being able to connect with first gen Filipino Americans here, because it's just so different. And at least that bridge, um I felt like in those clubhouses, the stories that were being shared, there was so much intersectionality, and I was like,
Hmm.
oh my goodness, I would have never known, or at least I would have never expected that y'all would have felt that way,
Yeah.
and this is just me coming from my intense
Whoa.
first gen. Oh wait, no, I meant to say second gen. Sorry, I'm so sorry. Second gen. I'm first gen, and I guess I was referring to second gen Philams.
Hmm.
So yeah, I mean it was intense. It's intense, but hearing these stories and what you just said, I no, this is. I think this is actually the perfect time to create it because everyone is talking about it. It's really relevant. It's like You know,
Whoa.
TFC, WeTV. I'm already thinking of like several like
Let's
I'm not
go.
I'm not even a producer, but I just hear of like other I know WeTV has been really bringing in different like shows like
Mhm.
created shows from like non like big stations. So
Oh, really?
yeah, yeah.
Hello. I think we just created, so we need to do something.
Mm-hmm.
That would be
Yeah.
amazing. Oh my God, I have ideas. I'm gonna keep
Yes.
them
Good. Yes.
because we go talk.
Yeah. There you go. Let's put everyone to work. There you go.
Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah. Okay. So that that was not even my final question for the icebreaker. but you know, that's good because that's actually I don't actually that's a perfect segue to the main interview because I don't think it's gonna get better than that. Okay. So my first interview, just kidding. My first question for you is who is Jessica Sarawasi?
Well, she is she. No, kidding, I'm just kidding. But no, I am a loving, open, um, ambitious, like very adamant about creating and having a voice for everyone. Um, I am someone who loves to have fun, loves to be around people,
Mm.
but also loves my space. I am someone who tells it like it is. My,
MySpace.com.
my space.
Just kidding.
I'm someone who will tell it like it is. But in no like condescending way. It's just
Mm.
like communication to me is so important. Um,
Mm.
and it took me so long to realize that as a person, just being as a person of understanding where I'm coming from, being Asian American, but also growing up in American society where my household wasn't the same, having those struggles, but also
Mhm.
internalizing, understanding that I want to do something more. Like it was just, I was kind of like an explosion of like attitude. Honestly, not even gonna lie. You can ask
Oh,
my
oh,
family, ask my
oh.
friends.
Me too. You're talking to one over here.
Okay, so
That one
you
person that's like that breaks the norm, and the whole household is shook.
okay. I think it's the second child thing.
Yeah.
I'm
What
kidding.
are what are we gonna do with you? You know?
Right? Like, what are you gonna do
Yeah.
with you? Yeah, I think I was just an explosion of attitude, and I kind of transitioned that into being older, of understanding how to
Mm.
communicate what I like and don't like about someone without being mean, without being like, hey, you, like, like this is what I don't like about
Mm.
you. Like, I think it's really important though to have people express and explain their feelings
Yeah.
in a way where it's not bashing someone down intentionally, but explaining yourself in a very innocent way where they need to understand that they have boundaries. We all have boundaries. Speak about
Hmm.
them. Um, yeah, that's me. That's me evolving, ever evolving. Um,
Yes.
I don't know, but I'm the same. I will love a good laugh. I love to joke. Um, yeah, yeah.
Yes, girl. Okay. So my next question for you is how did we meet? How did we cross paths?
How did we cross paths? Well, Casey, Cassandra Pimentel, our lovely mutual friend, recently
Yes,
connected us.
Casey. Yeah.
So, and she doesn't connect me to anybody that, she means well when she connects people. So, I mean, she's always like, you need to meet him. Like, you need to do it. He's amazing. And blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, oh, okay, okay, let's meet. And so she just,
Oh,
yeah, connected us. And I love it. I already love it.
thank you. Thanks, Casey.
I know.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Casey.
Our interview was hilarious.
Oh,
I mean,
oh,
I mean, if we were talking about like glitches and everything, we literally spent the whole hour troubleshooting, and then when we started recording, we still were struggling, and we were just like, no, we're just gonna roll with this because this is actually it's it's me. It's like
mhm,
it's the thing that I practice, which is like being unapologetic, and that's why for the most part, unless if it's like super 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 like unavoidable, I
Yeah.
don't like to make cuts. I just kind of like just run with
I
it.
love it. I love it.
Because because especially now, because in the times that we live in, everything is so curated, everything is so like perfect seeming, whereas in real life that's not really the case.
Oh, I agree. I agree. I'm
Hmm.
like, dang, you only showing me the good stuff. I need to relate
Hmm.
more. Where's the mess ups? Where's the flaws?
Where's the humanity,
Where's
where's
the
the
yeah,
vulnerability, where's the
ex-
humanity?
where's the
Yes, yeah,
real?
yeah, yes, yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. Okay, my friends. So my next question for you is, can you actually, this is perfect because you did start talking a little bit about your experiences kind of being like a you said you're half, right? Like
Yeah,
half Filipino, half
and half Thai.
Thai.
Yeah.
Okay. In under that lens, would you mind just sharing a little bit of your experiences growing up, being a young Jessica? Who was or what was a young Jessica like growing up?
Oh my goodness, that was a long time ago. I think she's the same. I think happy, bubbly, like openness I am today. I was really observant.
Mm,
I've always had my close knit. I think it stays the same. Close knit, that's small. I was always creative, always running around in the backyard by myself when no one wanted to play, and me playing house with bikes and wood ramps, like just creating stuff. Um, I yeah, I was always creative. Whenever we had projects, I would just go to the yard and grab mud, sticks, dirt, whatever, and create whatever I needed to with it. I was definitely, and I still am, a dad's girl. Like me and my dad, like he taught me everything. I think I'm more like people get it mixed up. Like, oh my god, you're so girly and you're so girl. You know what I mean? And like I agree with not having that whole basis of like, oh, you're such a girl and things like that. Cause I never really felt like that. I felt like, okay, well, whatever is whatever. I liked whatever, like it doesn't mean I was a
mhm,
girl or too boyish. Like I just liked whatever. And I think my dad and mom really balanced that out of like, you don't have to like the color pink because you're a girl. Like you like whatever you
mhm,
want. Like, do whatever you
mhm.
want. If you like cars, we can build cars. And my dad, really encouraged that. Like if you like building, let's build.
Yes.
Yeah, let's go. Let's just be us. So I think that definitely, yeah, I was just a little kid living in a world, carefree,
Nice.
but very observant. And I think I was very aware of a lot of things I shouldn't you usually aren't aware at certain ages. So I'm just kind of like,
Ah,
you know, growing up, I'd be calling everybody out like, hey, I know what you do.
mhm.
Yeah.
You,
So yeah.
you you're that young adult.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Yep. Yep.
I
The
was
whole like
yeah.
the whole, what are we going to do with you? What are we going to do with you?
Yes, aka we are the trailblazers. We are actually the real people. We are the real ones that make the impact,
Right.
because we don't really subscribe to at least all of the, cultural norms and notions and all that stuff. Which is, I
No, I
mean,
agree with
which
you.
is hard. Which is hard, but at the same time, it's like being able to talk to you, being able to meet people like y'all. It's like, oh, there is really a world more
Hmm.
of people that kind of support us in our way of being. And yeah, yeah.
I agree with everything you're saying. I think, yes, people like us forget that there's people like us. We forget that there's
Hmm.
people out there that agree with us, not following along with the trends, not on purpose, because it just naturally isn't us. We just don't gravitate towards that. We want to do something else,
Hmm.
not to like fight against it.
Yeah,
It just is us. We're just like, oh, we want to do something else. So oh my God, I
yeah.
agree with you. I was just having this talk yesterday. I love it. with it.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you would you mind elaborating just a little bit on your experiences being half Filipino and half Thai? I'm curious.
Oh, experiences. Like, what do you want to know? What do you mean? Like
I
specifics?
um I think just your overall like overarching experiences of like I think like what you were saying earlier, just trying to navigate, like I think
Hmm.
more in more in that aspect of like yeah, trying to navigate between the two worlds or three worlds really because
Three
you're
words.
like half and you live in America, so that's like a trifecta.
Ooh, agreed. Okay. Wow, I never really thought about this. I love it. Thank you for bringing this out. Thank you for
Mm.
uh I mean, I guess I knew growing up I was always Filipino. It's Filipino predominant because my grandparents are with us. We lived in
Oh yeah.
Carson. I know, we lived in Carson around Long Beach at
Yes.
this time, so it's Filipino town. We lived in San Diego, which was Filipino Central in that area.
Mm-hmm.
So I always knew I was Filipino. Like that was just number one.
Mm.
They spoke Tagalog, we understood, we can read, we can do all that. And I think I didn't realize I was Thai until I was obviously I think like old enough to be like, oh, there's a difference. My grandmas are speaking different languages and I don't understand one. Like,
Oh
I don't understand
wow.
my Thai grandma.
Yeah.
I don't.
Mm.
And it kind of, I think at that moment, like right when I noticed that, like, oh my God, my Thai grandma, I don't understand. And so for me, I felt guilt. Like, why don't I
Mm.
understand my other grandma? Like, um, she spoke English. Yeah, they both spoke English, but like to not understand her native tongue, I felt guilty. I
Mm.
felt like ashamed. I felt I was disconnected in a
Wow.
way where I was like,
Wow.
wow, like I didn't do her justice to do that.
Mm.
However it was, and I don't, I guess it's like I don't make my dad proud because my dad is the Thai one and my mom's Filipino. So it made me feel like, wow, am I disconnected from that world? And we would always go to the Philippines. And so I'd feel more comfortable there. And then I know I went to Thailand when I was little. I don't remember. But
Mm.
yeah, going back to like my Thai side of the family, which they live on the East Coast, go there,
Mm-hmm.
I felt disconnected. I felt like I didn't belong. Like I was like, am I Thai or I'm just here? Like all my other
Oh.
cousins, they're all very much mixed, but they lived in the Thai community, so they understood the culture more. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, I felt left out. And then being in a world and living in America, going to school, with Americans, no one really has the same
Yeah.
issues as you. And so I didn't really have anyone to understand who I was trying to figure out who I am, who I was trying
Yeah.
to become, trying to
Yes.
navigate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And
my
that's so
follow-up
fun.
question is if you don't mind me asking, did you feel like your parents they made an effort to um kind of bridge the two worlds, or was it like it was just only one?
Mm. That's a question. That's a really great question that I think we don't talk enough about our parents also in this transition because it doesn't only affect the parents, it affects the kids, but it affects the parents too because it was their decision to make this transition for their family. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so I think, to be honest, I never really talked to my parents about this, but in my own opinion, being as open and
Mm-hmm.
thought out as I am, I don't give them the blame at all because for me, them coming to America at young ages, number one, trying to start a family and having no information about America, how to run it, how to do it.
No manual.
No
Yeah.
manual, no brochure, no nothing. They came over and worked and made their way, made their own names, their own paths for our family. I
Mm-hmm.
think they're doing damn good well, and they have done damn good well. But no, I don't blame them at all. I feel like they didn't have the knowledge or understood that whatever the lack of information they had would affect their kids. It did really much
Yeah.
affect us. And I'm glad that me and my older sister kind of figured it out for our younger ones. Um,
Yes.
but it was a tough journey. Like, yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
going through
probably
the
probably you too, the first, the
oh yeah.
eldest. You know,
Oh
yeah.
yeah. I felt like we were kind of the guinea pigs. It was kind of like thrown in. Obviously, my older sister first. She had a whole that's her story, but a whole run in, but also me
Mm,
being the other end of it all, and seeing what was done or hasn't been done yet. And I knew I needed to change that. Like, I think the number one biggest thing was going to college, understanding college. College was never spoken about, like, ever, until I
really?
got to never. Like, I didn't even know what the heck college was. Like, I mean, I'm sure
Oh
like my
wow.
cousins and stuff, they all went to college, but like my parents never really spoke to us about what college was, and we never really put it two and two together of like college is another educational system out of high school, and you can do this and this
Okay.
and this. So no, we were never sat down, I guess, or even spoke about, or maybe we were. Parents, you can tell me, but I don't remember it. So for
Hmm.
me, it was understanding and seeing my sister go through high school first, and making those decisions. But I still didn't understand because no one still spoke to me about it, until I
Mm.
was like midway in high school. And I was like, oh, shoot, everyone's talking about college. And what the heck is
Junior here, yeah. Yeah.
right? Right. And I was like, oh, I didn't know the importance. I didn't know the consequences, if you go or don't go. Um, yeah, so I felt like senior year, I was just like rambling up and trying to figure out. And by senior year, sometimes it's too late
Oh
already.
man, that's
Yeah,
rough.
so I was
Yeah.
kind of like, okay, let me figure this out. But like me being me, I'll figure whatever out. Like,
Mm-hmm.
if we have to go a different path, it's fine. Like, that's just what we have to do.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I took a whole different route and I made my way, and I don't regret it at all. But I don't blame my
Yes.
parents at all because they didn't know. So
That
you know,
yeah. Yeah, that was really no, yeah, that was really, really beautifully articulated, that that it is important to recognize that that happened, but it's also
Mhm.
important to recognize that it's important to change it's important to address certain things moving forward without kind of feeling like you get to pinpoint, and yeah, because I mean there are like we do have a lot of like blind spots too, especially cultural blind
Agree.
spots. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Um. Yeah. Actually, I think that does lead me to my next question. So, when actually can you actually elaborate and go more into full details of the line of work that you're doing?
Yeah, definitely. So I'm an actor. Obviously trying to make that full-time training actor and doing all that I can in creating. Another thing that I have recently got involved in is LPDT movement, and it is a brand created by my two friends. Once again, connected with Casey. Thank you, Casey.
Mm.
But they created this brand called Live Passionate, Die True movement, and it is a lifestyle merch apparel brand, but their whole catch is giving back to their community. So they do passion
Mm.
projects on the back end of this lifestyle clothing. I recently jumped on as passion project director, and it started out with an idea I had, the beginning of the BLM movement, of just not understanding why this is still a thing. Like, it's very disappointing to see that we still have racial tensions. I, me being the person I am, I understand the deep roots of it all, but me
Mm-hmm.
not understanding why we all can't move forward, meaning those who don't agree with interracial anything. Why can't we move forward with it? Like, y'all, we've been there, done that. You see the world as it is, and we are all mixed. So accepting things that are already existent and in front of you instead of fighting against them is so much, it's just so much easier to understand that there are people that don't look like you in this world. and it's okay. You know, like
Yeah.
let's move on. So yeah, we started with our End Racism campaign, and that was like the official send off of partnering with them and officially joining on their team. This
Mm,
most recent one, we gave back to the the homeless school in San Diego, the Monarch School. And those
mm,
are all kids that are homeless and they attend that school. So we gathered up 1,000 and some dollars, and
mm,
we created these care packages for them, you know, with PPE items, with creative items. And we try to do this every like 3 months, whenever we can. So yeah, it's a brand about giving back, and that's just what I am. I just whatever I can do, I have free knowledge, I have free words, free support, like I can give,
mm.
you know. So yeah, we heavily do that, and we're heavily working on just giving everyone an opportunity to give back and an opportunity to be there, be involved in any way they can. So yeah, those are my
Yes.
2 lines of work.
Thank
I'm
you.
just trying to keep moving.
Thank you. I'm curious, at what point did you realize that you wanted to become an actor, an actress? And what are the steps that you took into like making that happen for you professionally?
Oh, okay. It's a long story. I love it. Um, I will tell you an exact day. I was 8 years old,
Yes.
living in
Go.
Carson on Van Buren Street. I'm like, and I was
Yeah.
watching, I know right, all the details.
Yes, go
There was
ahead.
a
We love the details. We love trivia. Just in case, not just in case, but when that time comes, I was gonna say
trivia.
just in case. Sorry, when that time
Um,
comes, you're on Wikipedia. They're gonna use this as a side source.
as a resource. No, but for okay, I was 8 years old in Carson, um, and at that time I was going to school, a little elementary school across the street, and that at that time the town was not very safe.
Ooh.
Let's just say
Mm-hmm.
that there was a lot of
Mm-hmm.
drug deals, houses down the road. You know, a lot of gang
Oh
members
yeah. Oh yeah. My
living
my my never my
around.
neighborhood my neighborhood is kind of like that, but thankfully we're a little bit like
Ye-
up farther. Yeah.
right?
I
It's
live
it's
next to Morse
developed.
High
It's
School.
developed. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
really? Okay, okay,
Mm-hmm.
okay. Oh my
Yeah.
hair. Oh my hair, girl.
Oh.
No, but so at that time there was a lot of that going on, and understanding that, whoa, this is a lot. You know, this is a world that I don't want to be involved in, but I'm involved in because I live next to it. But I would always
Yes.
come home, run home. My grandma would pick me up, come home, and I would just turn the TV on right away, while we eat our little, sopas or something, lunch.
Yeah. Okay.
um,
Yes.
right? We'll eat our lunch, watch TV, and I was watching Out of the Box. I don't know if you know
I
that
love.
show.
Oh yes, I do. Yes,
Okay,
out
yes.
of the box. Yes.
And right, right. So that actress is Filipino, and I kind of already knew that, even though Google really wasn't
I
a thing and we
didn't
didn't have
know
computers or
that.
whatever. Yeah, she's Filipino, and the
I,
actor Tony, he's African American, he's black. So
ooh.
that was, I think, the first time
I
I was like,
should I
whoa,
should invite the both of them to be here.
you
Out of the box
should.
reunion exclusive.
You should. Can I
Yes.
co-host with you?
Yes. Let's do it. Let's do it.
I'm just gonna
Yes,
be
actually.
yes. No, but yes.
Yes.
So she was Filipino and he was black, and I was like, whoa. I don't see this on TV every day. You know, like wow, what in the
Yeah.
world? So I think that was the moment
Yeah.
where I'm like, this is another world, um, that I want to be a part of. Like they're acting, but they're not acting, and they're all together. Like yeah, that was the moment where I was like, okay, I want to
Hmm.
do it. I want to try it. And then my mom heard something on the radio, got some acting classes for us.
Oh
And
wow.
once again, I don't blame my mom or my parents, but they did not understand the industry at that time. So we kind of like just faded away from it.
Mm.
And I knew throughout high school I wanted to do it again, but I wanted to focus on my high school work.
Yes.
So I did that. Out of high
Hmm.
school, went to college. I went to fashion school, um, and I got back into the world, but behind the cameras. So I worked a lot in costume. I did a lot of PA work. So
Mhm.
yeah, I was just like, let me get back into the world. Let me do it. And then a couple years ago, I was like, let me just jump back on the camera and try it again.
Mm.
So I'm back on the camera trying it again, but
Wow.
also behind the camera trying it again. So yeah,
Mm.
that's kind of like the brief story of how I got here.
That's beautiful. Yeah, that is beautiful. There is something in resiliency. There's something in revisiting. Especially I think it's really important to understand and realize that just because something didn't work out the first time doesn't mean that it's not meant for you. Because what I have
Mhm.
been advocating really in actually since the first episode of the podcast was time versus timing. If
Yes.
like if the opportunity was there and the timing was not there yet, then it's not there for you yet. It's
Hmm.
just, I think, um being able to understand and being able to have the maturity and the wisdom to realize that things can only happen when the stars align, and
Yes.
that as much as it sucks, we don't always get what we want right away. That
Oh,
a
I
lot of
agree.
times we do have to pay our dues as human beings.
Hmm.
We have to grow. We have to live out there. We have to like what you're doing. We have to contribute. We really have to do a lot of these kind of humanly philanthropic things, and to really gather the experiences. Then kind of taking that back into our work, and just kind of really allowing that to like speak out and let that speak for itself,
Hmm. Agreed,
Yeah.
agreed. It was always a calling to come back, and I was like, shoot, let me just come back. That's funny because your first episode was with Noreen, right?
Oh, Noreen? Do you know
Oh
her?
my
Have you
God,
guys
that's another story. You want me to tell you?
go? Oh, please go.
Yes. So there was an audition. You know how TFC
Oh yes.
comes over every couple years or what? So this was like 3 years ago. They
Hmm.
had an audition in Carson, and so I went on a whim for the acting section. Everyone that was there for Big Brother, and I was like, "Oh, I don't want to do Big Brother.
Oh.
I'm just gonna do it was Big Brother, acting or singing, right?" And I just chose acting. And there was only a few of us in that group, and I think there was like maybe 15 of us, and
Hmm.
we obviously went in front of the director, the big director. Oh my God. And
Who
like the
was it?
whole
Do you
room.
remember? Do
I
you
don't
remember?
remember who was there. I feel
Was it
so
a guy
bad.
or a girl?
It was a guy,
Oh,
but the
I
girl
don't know,
came
man.
along later. I don't the big
Hmm.
director. I don't know her name. I totally forgot her name. I'm so sorry.
Is it Kathy Garcia Molina?
I don't know.
Olivia Lamasan? If she looked old, it's one of them too. Hi, direct
Yes.
Kathy.
Hi, I know. Hi, but we missed her. But anyways, we were top five that were picked, and we were just kept for the acting section. And Noreen was one of them. So we buddied up, and we are like, oh my God, hi, and
Oh
then we just
wow.
connected from there. Yeah. So I was like, oh my
Oh
God,
yeah.
it was funny. It was a good audition. It was cool to meet them and just have exposure to that world.
Hmm.
And that's funny because that's when I got involved with mixed TV because
Mm.
um, the casting was there for that, and then that turned into a whole thing. And I met Casey, and and now we're
Wow.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's this whole world. So yeah, that was a fun audition. So I met Noreen there though, because we both
Wow.
made it to the acting like final. Yeah.
Did I'm just curious, did anything ever end up happening with it? with that
No.
project? Oh,
So they were just kind of like, we love you guys, but we don't have anything for you because they're looking for Big Brother. They're just kind of like, yay, you're just filed with us and here. So I don't know. No, nothing. I was never called.
oh. It's okay. The same thing happened with me with Viva Audition. I actually
Oh,
auditioned a couple of years ago now. Wow, it's
uh-huh.
crazy. Like 2 years ago now, and I auditioned as a host. Ironically, I like performed the
Oh.
spoken word, and they were like, "Hey, sign something," and nothing ever happened out of it. But it's still cool. It's still like a moment that I get to have for myself and my friends. Two friends that were there with me,
Exactly.
and that
And
vlog
no,
that still
agreed.
needs to make
See?
it out. So free content. Oh, oh,
There you
oh,
go. That
oh,
just
you're
means
back. Okay.
you got
Yeah.
it. Oh,
Yeah.
that just means we need to create stuff for ourselves.
Hmm. Yeah. And it's good because for some people, I think experiences like that could mean like it's the end of the road for them. But for y'all that are tuning in, keep persevering because that is really the only way you're gonna be able to like I mean even not even not just in the acting in the entertainment industry, but just in any industry, resiliency is so important. You know.
For real, yeah.
Um Okay, so my next question for you is I know you briefly talked about it, but would you mind elaborating, excuse me, more on your journey overall in acting, pursuing acting? Has it been a smooth journey? And if not, then what ways were you really able to push through and overcome some of the challenges and really persevering through your dreams?
Well, to be honest, no. And I think anyone
Mhm.
would tell you this. No,
Yeah.
it's not. It's not the greatest, I think, mentally to put yourself through, or physically now, being that we have to do self tapes at home and everything is up to you as the actor to create, to produce, to edit, to send off. Um,
Mhm.
but no, it hasn't been a smooth ride. I've gotten great auditions. I've gotten exposure in that way, but I think more mentally, internally, it's it's been a ride for sure. It's been a struggle.
Mhm.
There are so many more days where I think for me, where I felt so much self doubt, so much like reflection on like, shoot, am I good enough? Or am I like this enough or this, and this? Um, and yeah, I'm not gonna lie, there are days where there's breakdowns of moments where I'm just laying there being like, I'm not worth it. Like,
Mhm.
there are those days, but I mean, I do jump back. I do have a great partner who helps me with like, no, you need to get this, you need to get up, you are worthy, or else you wouldn't be here, you
I
know?
felt that. That was really beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah. You are. No, but yeah, it's not a journey I ever thought that I would take and it would be this way. I definitely jumped in thinking like, oh, it'll be fine. I'll be cool, easy, whatever. If I get a no, whatever. But no, it's definitely not like that. It's a lot of reflecting. I think I turned it into like, then what do I need to do internally?
Mhm.
To be my best again. And if I didn't do well, if I didn't do my best, how can I reset myself? Because I deserve that for myself. I
Yes.
need to do that for myself. So I think it's more that of like the healing after for me.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you can keep on moving forward
Yeah.
then. Yeah, I mean and I know that I mean, well, let's just say that the times that we live in now, there aren't as much gatekeepers as possible, that we literally get to create our own gates, and I think that's just really part of the blessings that we get to live in. Whereas like back in 1992, you know, whereas
No.
like literally had to VHS, like everything was so much more. I wouldn't even say harder, but it just felt so much more exclusive. Like clearly there weren't that much, representation, diversity in media, um, as there is now. So I think there really is something in just like keep on keeping on, and especially now with the pandemic, specifically creating your own work, because
Yeah.
I think that is the best way to not only advocate for yourself but also to show people like, hey, like, even though like I'm not waiting for a
Yeah.
yes to keep working. And I think for me personally, that's how I've been able to really tap into these opportunities, these like creative opportunities that I would have never had. um just some, like, as of now, include like coming back into the camera as an actor for an LGBT short film that I got casted in, which is not my own, and that's like super rare. I've been working with my co-director Marissa Rojas, shout out
Oh,
bestie,
shout out.
on our first documentary. Um,
Oh,
like having my first like not my first, but like having my first video editing be commissioned for like a museum. I'm
Oh
sure you've heard
yes.
about the
Yes,
one
I
that Casey
did.
was in. Hmm.
Yes, I did. I did. Oh my gosh. Yeah, yeah. Those are,
Yeah.
I mean, this is such an opportunity. And I agree with you. We are living in a blessed time, although the other end, you would say
No, it's oh
we're
yes,
going
no,
through a
yeah,
lot.
it's oh yeah, no, it's hard. Yeah, it's
It
hard.
is hard. But I
Let's be
mean,
honest. Let's
but
be
I,
honest.
right, let's be honest. But but that's what we get for having the opportunity to be our own gatekeeper, be our own creators, you know.
Yeah.
um that's, I mean, that's what we, that's the other end, you know. We can't have it all our way, but I think I'd
Yes.
rather have it this way than to wait for a yes, than to wait for
Hmm.
someone to give me an opportunity when I could just give myself an opportunity.
Yes.
So
Actually, just yeah, I would say it's time for you to activate your YouTube channel because that is like everyone's like portfolio. You can do it. And I
should
mean,
I
I'm
do
not
it?
uh
I'm just kidding.
let's just I mean, this episode is gonna come out towards like the late of March since I have been recording in advance. So let's give it a goal.
Oh,
Let's give it a
okay.
goal that by the time this episode comes out that she has a
We're
channel
gonna
to
do
plug
it.
for. Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
you heard it first. You put me on blast. I love it. I'm gonna have a YouTube
Yes, I
channel.
did. Yes, I didn't even realize that I had this passion for like advocating for everyone to create a YouTube channel, especially for people like us who are looking for representation. And the best way
Yeah.
to do it is through YouTube because that is a platform for people, for
Hmm.
anyone's stories and visibility to be seen and heard. Yeah, yeah.
I agree. Oh my gosh. I love it. You, all of you, Aura, everything.
Thank you. With my half asleep self, but it's good. I've really been enjoying this interview. And actually, before I forget, can we just like take a moment and like give her the recognition that she deserves because she's the first person that reached out to me to be in an interview. And I've actually um while I'm being honest, I have really been until then been as selective so far with the people I've been choosing just because I've been building like I've been using everyone to like build up their I've been building my
Yes.
confidence basically through the people I've interviewed. So then when Casey, our mutual friend, like connected us together, I was like, oh wow, that is so not just flattering, but I was really touched. I was like, oh, like I've never had anyone ask me, So thank you for reaching out. Thank you for giving
You.
yourself the permission to be seen. And I was like, okay, well let's do this, and I can definitely respect that. So yeah.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for allowing me to join your podcast. So
You're
I love it.
welcome. And we're not done yet. We actually have a couple more questions left. So
Let's go.
don't tune out yet, anyone.
I said
Okay.
bye.
So
No, kidding. I'm just kidding.
right. Who are some of your inspirations as an actress?
Oh,
Do you have any do you have any point of references, at least when you like do certain characters? Do you have like or do you mainly derive from your own personal experience?
I when I do, yeah, it is. I mean, I do idolize actors and actresses, and I don't think I idolize them for them unless I know their personal life, which I don't think I have any business in always. So I'm like, I don't want to dig into all that. But I do
Mhm.
idolize actors in certain roles, you know? So I'll be like,
Oh, got it.
oh,
Okay.
that was a great movie. Like she did amazing. Like wow. And
Mm,
there's too many of those to count. But if I go through my TV, I can show you the movies I have bookmarked. I was like, I could do
yes.
that. Um,
What's the
I
first one
think
that comes to mind? What's the first one on that TV list? I'm curious.
okay, I love Julia Roberts.
Yes,
Like
Julia.
my
Julia, if you're
best,
watching this, I want to have you on my show, okay?
yes. So my best friend's wedding is one of my favorite movies, and
Oh,
I
I've seen
think
that.
yes,
And I don't
I
watch
just
movies often.
you don't.
Yeah.
Yes, I will watch that movie. Like that's one of the movies I can watch on a loop and never get tired
Oh,
of.
classic. Yes, the
Yes,
soundtrack, just like the
everything. The
retro,
other
the
actors in it,
nine.
like
Richard
amazing.
Gere,
But
right? Richard Gere? Is
yes,
it Richard Gere?
yes,
Yes,
Cameron
yeah.
Diaz,
Mhm.
they're all in there. But no,
Yes. Oh,
Julia
yeah.
Roberts,
When
Julia
when
Roberts,
Cameron was just starting out,
yes,
yeah,
yes,
yeah.
Cameron. But with Julia Roberts, I just felt like she gave herself so much. I just related to her. Like she was the best friend, and she was the best friend you wanted him to love. Like I'm like,
Hmm.
no, but she owned all that in the end. Obviously, I don't want to spoil for anyone if you never watched it. But yeah, I know. I love her. I love how she gives herself and her character always changes. Like sometimes I often see, which is no fault, no one's fault. But sometimes I often see actors play themselves in the same role all the time.
Oh
So
yeah.
it's like, okay, like you're a big actor. I love it. I love it. But I'm like, but I love the Undertaker actors that play multiple roles. You could see it's them, but they're so different. Like when you're watching it, you don't know it's them.
What's her
There's
name?
I feel like there's a lot of
Mary
Netflix
J.
actors that have
Blige.
done that.
Mary J. Blige is such a character
On Power.
actress. Yeah, yeah, yes.
Yes. But yeah, no, I totally agree. But like if you just watch Netflix, there's a lot of like actors that are coming up and I totally admire all of them because I'm like, wow, I see you in this Netflix show, that movie, that and like it's all diverse. Like it's just I love it. So I don't have
Yeah.
an specific actor. I do have like what's it called? Like directors, producers that I think that are
Mm,
great. Like Shonda Rhimes is amazing.
mm,
John
yes,
Favreau,
yeah.
like an amazing actor and director. Like yeah, stuff like that.
Oh,
Things,
okay.
people like
Okay.
that. I mean, yeah,
Yes. No, yeah. No, yeah, because it's a multifaceted field. It's not just
yeah,
acting. There's also like this the screenplay, the screenwriting or the screenplay, then there's the producing side, you know.
yeah.
Um what does so for those that are wondering, for those that are tuning in and really are and is curious about really wanting to make this happen, not trying but wanting to, um what does your day look like when you are working?
As an actor or just working,
Yeah.
working, working,
Um.
working my day.
In well, no, well, no. I mean, in general. I mean, do you have? It sounds like you have a day job.
I do have a day job.
Okay.
So are you
How do
are you
you how
speaking?
do you how both? How do you balance it? Because I mean I yeah because I know a lot of people have their day jobs and try to do this on the side. So maybe if you can speak on that experience, I think that'd be
Yeah, I
dope.
think that it happens a lot, and everyone has a day job. So don't be shunned. Don't. There have been some people that are like, "You're not an actor if you have a day job," and I'm like, "Huh? Like I got a life I need to provide for too. We all can't
Ah,
be
yes.
rich. We all can't be
Uh,
like just have money out of nowhere."
yeah.
But no, yeah, I fortunately have a day job that is very flexible. Um, and so if I do need to run early or leave early or have a day off, we all work it out. But usually it's
Mm,
me working my early morning day job, coming home, creating. If I have an audition that day, either come home early, set up, block, get ready, do my audition.
mhm,
Um, and then I try to spend some time to think, to really think and create about what my next move is. And then after that, sometimes if I have a class, like an acting class, I'll take an acting class that day, or I have meetings with my LPDT movement family. We have it
mm.
weekly, so we talk about things we want to start working on and start getting ready for. And then when I'm not working, I'm spending time with my family.
Nice.
Or myself, self-care.
Nice. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, no. It really sounds like you have a very, very fully diverse, well-rounded, balanced, I'd say, life. Because I mean, from what I'm hearing, excuse me, my R's just wanted to roll. From my observations, there you go. It's like I feel like a lot of times people in our industry, the creative industry, can just like. For me, I became a freelancer about a year ago, and my parents hated me for it but it's okay. I'm gonna keep on moving because honestly, like if I'm really like being honest, this is the only way I know that I'm gonna move forward in life. Like I have tried the 9 to 5 working for someone, and it's just never led me that way because at the end of the day, if it's meant for you, if it's meant for you, it's meant for you. And oh, sorry. And whereas for me, it kept like taking me the opposite direction. And the last thing I want to say about that is, I think in the end, I was more so afraid to see what would happen if I did if I didn't take that. You know, I like if I betrayed if I betrayed my gut was telling me this, and I kept trying to go this way. So in the end, I was really afraid to see how miserable my life would be if I didn't follow that calling. Yeah.
Same. Yeah. I think I agree with you. I think we'd be more miserable if we went against our natural desire.
Calling. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, my friend. So as wow, we actually made it to the end. Wow, that one kind of went by real quick. Um, okay, so you did talk about the sustainability, the financial aspect of it. I think I have two more questions. So on
Mhm.
that note, what advices can you give to someone who is trying to do it, but then kind of on a more from your experiences, what advices can you give them? Like if somebody wanted to go audition and while also I guess trying to like balance it with a day job, like what are some tips that you can give to our fellow aspiring actresses?
The number one thing is provide for yourself, meaning do not ever do not ever sacrifice your home,
Don't be a starving artist.
Yes, do not starve. It's that your life ain't worth it. Don't starve. But also if you do want to decide that this is something you really want to get into, um, my greatest advice given was to train before you even audition. Train, have that foundation of understanding who you are as an actor, what you want to, give out, how you want to perform, before you even look for representation. Know who you are before you add on a partner. You know, that's a general advice. That's a general life advice. But no, representation is just like a relationship, and you really want to get to know each other first, but you really want to get to know yourself in that industry first. So train first, uh, feel who you are first and know who you are, and then find the right representation that supports who you are, and you guys work together, and then make magic, which means go to auditions and do all that, and that will come.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice. I love it. I love the more kind of I wouldn't even say realistic, but I really appreciated that approach of like take care of yourself first. you know. Yeah.
Yes, take care of yourself first, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, my friend. So my final question for you is what legacy does Jessica Sarawasi want to leave behind in this world?
Ooh.
The
Ooh,
question you've been waiting
ooh.
for.
I know, but like it's still like wow, like okay, that's a huge question. Um, I think whatever I leave, I want just the people around me or the people who have come across me to understand who I am, what I'm about, and what I care about your potential. Um, that's me being selfishly, wanting me and whatever I do to influence those to do whatever they want. Um, and to have the guts to do it full out, not just try it and be like, oh, it's not for me, but to like really punch it in the face and keep it going. So at the end of your day, you could be like, I did this. I may not have been as successful as what people would say, but I'm as successful as I would say. And that's cool with me because I did it full out. So I
Yes,
think
I
that's what
love it.
that's gonna live.
Are you a dancer? Do you dance?
I mean, I can dance, but I'm not a
Oh, you can
dancer.
dance.
No.
Oh, I mean, I was just curious because he said full out. He said
Oh, full
full.
out. Yes. Full out.
Yeah,
I
it's like
can You said, "Oh,
yes,
I felt it." No, yeah.
yeah,
I think that's what I always push is like, "Yo, you, you right there. You have all this potential bottled up and you need to figure out how to open the heck up and do it full out because you deserve that. Don't only use half of it, use all of it. It's right there. You glowing. Use it."
yes, and you know what too? I think this is. I think the last thing I want to say about this is I think that's why it's even more important for you to like launch your channel to show up more on social media because it's a light that needs to be spread. You know, your messaging and what we've talked about. I mean, it's like it's important. It's important.
Thank you. And
Yeah.
you know what?
You're welcome.
You put me on blast,
You're
I'm gonna
welcome.
do it. I'm gonna do it.
Yes,
Look
I
out.
love putting people in the hot seat. I love like being able to like pinpoint other people's potentials and be like, you can do this, and then I'm gonna keep you accountable. You know,
Yes, I need you
if you're
around.
if yes, well, now we will be because you know we've officially like talked. I put you in the hot seat. I've gotten to know you more, and I super appreciate your story and your energy. So you're cool. No, I'm just kidding. You're cool.
Yes. Yes.
No, really, yeah, no, yeah, really. Thank you. I'm super appreciative of your story and just really taking the time to sit down with us and to inspire our viewers here because like what I always say, the people on my channel are people like ourselves, just kind of
Mhm.
looking for that permission to be themselves. And yeah,
Wow, permission to be themselves, but you already
yes,
have the permission. You give yourself permission.
yes, yeah,
Wow,
giving yourself that permission.
affirmations.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. My friend, okay, so this is the time for you to plug all things of plugs. Where and how can people support you, root for you, and see your body of work?
Awesome. Well, the biggest one is Instagram at Jessica Sarawasi or Jessica Sarawasi. um, yeah, type that in if you follow Edrian, go ahead. I'm already on there, so
Yes.
we linked up. Look for me. Look out for my YouTube. It's coming out. And I guess it's just gonna be me being me, showing the real life of it all and showing the real life of a person who is not tied down by titles, not
Yes.
tied down by positions, and definitely
Multifaceted.
yes, and definitely not tied down by judgment. So let's make it
Mm.
happen. And yeah, if you ever want to collab on giving back to the community, or even like trying to figure out how to develop yourself and your passion, you can hit
Oh,
me up. You can hit up lpdtmovement.com. My two friends, Phil and David, who are the founders, the co-founders of it all, they are all about being passionate, being a Renaissance person of whatever you desire. So I'm everywhere. I'm here. I'm for you.
yes.
That sounded like a lawyer commercial.
Yay, yay, we made it to the end of the episode, everyone. That's cut. And for those that made it till the end, till the end, thank you so much. And on that note, this is Soul Supremacy, where we talk about all things unapologetic, all things passionate in pursuit of. Thank you for tuning in, and we will see you next episode, next Friday at 7 p.m. Pacific time. Thank you, Jessica. Thank
Bye. See you later.
you. This podcast show is a product of Studio Penguino. For more information about advertising, please visit www.adrianpenguino.com.